Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we're gonna let it rain. Tonight, we're gonna let it rain. Tonight, we're gonna let it rain. Just like the sunrise, we're gonna let it rain. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we're gonna let it rain. Tonight, we're gonna let it rain. Tonight, we're gonna let it rain. Just like the sunrise, we're gonna let it rain.
Hey guys, and welcome into tonight's live. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. It's Friday. Can't beat that. Can't beat that. It's Friday, the 21st of March, and you guys are all here spending your time with me, and I'm very grateful for that. If you're new to the channel, my name is Tanya. Nice to meet you. You can call me TitaniumBuilt if you'd like, or you can call me Tanya, either way. We are going to go over some Idaho 4 stuff, kind of like a weekly recap tonight. So buckle up and get ready. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Can everyone hear me okay? I switched back to this microphone from the other microphone. So the intro song, somebody knows in here. I forget what it's called. I'll have to look it up for you. But someone will know it. I forget because somebody asked in the comment section, and like it's called Light It Up, I think. But I don't know who it's by. I don't know if it tells me on my side. No, it does. Robin Houston. But it's, I don't think that's how you say it, but it's Hustin, Light It Up. Yeah. We have some cool music. Some cool music. Thanks, Karina. Got this at Target. I got every color they had. They had it in red. It said something else that had different names, and I got it in blue. I thought I liked the color of the shirt. Like, I don't know. It keeps you warm. It's been cold. It was cold here in Ohio today. Well, it was like half, half the day it was cold. Then the other half, it was pretty warm, but welcome in everybody. Hey, Ladybug. Oh, that's okay. You're napping. Oh, that sounds like fun. I wish I would have taken a nap. I wish I could have taken a nap, but I couldn't because we had to go, deal with dog things. But the dog is here. Oh, you can see her tonight. She's right there. If you know, you know. There she is. She's curled up on the floor with a blanket. She won't get up on the chair. It's huge. It's a big chair. It's way big for her. But she always wants to be with me in here. So that's why every time I'm in here, she's usually right behind me, but you guys can't normally see her because she's usually directly behind me. But she moved her little blanket over today. I told her, I said, get on camera. And she did. And my Stanley bottles on camera. That's my water bottle from earlier. So sorry about that. Hey, Petunia, welcome in. Lenora's in here. How are you doing, Mr. Rosebud? It's good to see you. What'd you guys do? Did you guys do anything fun since it's Friday night? And Karina is here. Which picture? Which one? This one? No, not that picture. I wait a minute. Which picture? Thanks for the compliment, though, whichever one it is. Hey, Wizard Walt, happy Friday to you. Having a brewski tonight? Sounds like fun if you are. We were at the gas station tonight. I am so old. I am an old woman in a young woman's body. Well, somewhat young woman's body. But I had a friend that would come over here, and every time she came over, she loved what is that? Fireball. So every time she came over, she would bring me a little bottle of it because you like buy like the little bottles. And I'm like, girl, I don't drink. So I had like a stockpile of them going on in the cabinet forever and a day. And finally she came over one night and I was like, here, drink some of your alcohol you brought with you. Let me give it back to you. The Germans. Actually, I think I am German. I think I have a little bit of German in me. Oh, wow. No, I didn't see that. Wow. See, not me. Chosen one Aries. I can't believe people are still dealing with that. And I figured they go away by now. Oh, I know you're not, Mr. Rosebud. Okay. Oh, I think I heard that, Karina, that there was someone that like a witness that saw him, like knew that he had bought one or something. You just hang out with us, Aries, Thanks, Ladybug. That's sweet. Thank you. You can hear fine. Okay, awesome. I turned my mic down a little bit. Reva said I was a little loud, so I didn't want to be shouting out you guys. And I also I put it on like to the volume for it to like go down and go up, I guess, whenever it's supposed to. So but we'll see how it works tonight. Hey, Tempest. Mia's out with her daddy on the couch, taking up the whole the whole chase. It's pretty cute. I walked out there. I was like, "Oh, look at her go!" They're just happy. You can tell. I think it's because we're like, your animals can tell when you're like nervous or anxious, or if something's wrong, they know. They just do. And I think they knew that we were feeling anxious-y today. I was anyway. Hey, Robin V. You like my hair curly? I'll make sure I do. I'll make sure I curl it tomorrow. See, Vincent likes it straight, but I like it curlier too. You rest on Fridays after the work week? That's a good idea. No, Ladybug, it's great news. Well, I mean, about my dogs, it's great news for me. I mean, we're going to keep her. She is here. She's my girl. She ain't going nowhere. Nowhere, nowhere, nowhere. But her mom's going to court on Friday. I guess I'm a criminal now. Well, I'm not the criminal. I'm the mother of a criminal. So, so since that happened, and the lady tried to go in there and say that she wanted to file a civil suit, and she was at the dog shelter. Are you okay, lady? So, I mean, that was the first thing. And then they gave me a citation, and I said, okay, even though my dogs were on a leash. But they gave her 2 citations. She got 2, and I got 1. So she went in there to try to mess with me and ended up messing with herself. So don't mess with me, lady. And our little agreement before is voided in my mind. Voided. So I just saved a lot of money too. Hey, Tempest. Hey, Ashley. She wants to play hard. We'll play hard. I can play hard. I'll play the hardest around. I'm just stubborn. I'm so stubborn. No, I didn't see that either. No, I haven't been watching today. I thought that Jolie was trying to be on the green team, man. I think that lady's got a problem. I think she's got a big problem. He did one on Fox. The one I have for him is on NBC that I was going to play tonight. Very interesting. Very interesting that he did one for Fox too. Man, he's been around the block. But I would be too. The Tempest, they are doing great. They are all So we're gonna ask about her living situation here, because she told the dog shelter guy today that she was here because she babysits her grandkid, but her grandkid, her daughter doesn't have a job. Like she doesn't work. So why would you need to move in to be a babysitter anyway? Like that's, you know what I mean? With your dogs. It's weird. Karma. Yeah. Yep. That's what I'm matching that. I said that's what Vincent was like. Vincent said, "Don't make him mad. Don't mess with his babies." Okay, thank you. I'll actually let me go check it real quick before we get started, because I have to check it on my computer. Like I don't have a thing for it. Like it's not on my computer yet. My email. Oh, I actually opened it and okay. So we'll watch 2 interviews tonight. Oh, this one's a little bit shorter than mine. So we'll play these. Let's play these first, and then we'll play the Megyn Kelly stuff. Okay. But first I wanted to show you this picture of our boy Kohberger, which he's really not our boy, but we're going to get into it. So if you guys don't mind hitting the like button, that's all I ask really for you guys to do is just hit that like button, and subscribe to the channel. I like when you guys subscribe. It makes me happy. So if you like the content, you appreciate the content tonight, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you guys don't mind hitting the like button, if you decide later on in the live, you're like, I didn't like that content, you can always take your like back. You can always do that, but please don't. I might, Wizard Walt. I might. If the husband gets involved. No, I'm just kidding. No, everything seems to be cool, and I just as long as I can keep my dog, I'm fine. I'll go to court for her on Friday. Damn dog. Okay, so this person put this on X, and they got me looking at it. I'm gonna actually let me see if I can make it a little bit bigger. If I open it in another tab, yep, I can. Okay, I didn't make it much bigger, but I hid me, so that might help. Do you guys think, like his thumb, to me, those do look like cuts to me? Do you think the other like places that are, I mean, they're red. They're definitely red. Do you guys think that these could be cuts from him? Like the knife slippage? Has anyone else thought about these or seen these pictures? I mean, I think we've all seen the picture of him, at this point, but like the selfie picture. But we've been looking at the hand and it looked like, well, maybe he had washed it too much. His knuckles appear to be really white to me, like he is gripping his fist, like tightening his fist, like balling up. And then I do think the thumb looks like maybe slippage of a knife to me. And that wouldn't produce a lot of fluid. So, that's something that you could even tape up. It doesn't look pretty rough. You saw it, Lenora? Right, Karina? I just thought it was pretty. I mean, we've looked at pictures of his hand in the car and things like that. Wait a minute, that was between his thumb and his forefinger in the car? Oh, I don't know if I can find that picture. Oh my God, and that is like the most random stuff ever. Oh my gosh, look, I found it. I put in, wow, that was weird. I put in like Brian Kohberger in car and I put hand and it pulled it up. Okay. But it's not where I thought it was. I think, hold on, maybe it is. This is the other picture. This is like maybe like in between the fingers, they're saying. That'd be the first and second finger. Oh, look at this, first and second finger. Is this the same hand? No. Unless he has this like mirrored or, whatever it is. We'll go back to here. Because I think it was like something in between his fingers that people were saying, assuming. And I couldn't really see it in this picture personally. I just like me personally, I didn't really see it, but I do see that it's red. It looks red. And then we'll go back to this one real quick. So it looks like one's is right, one's is left. I don't know. Either way, it is pretty weird, to say the least. I mean, now how do I get me back on here? Okay. Yeah, it's not the same hand. Yeah, it took me a minute. I was like, is this the same hand? Wait a minute. Let me go back. Let me go back to the car. Let me do the Pledge of Allegiance. I used to have to do that when I was a kid for like to tell what my right hand was sometimes. Ain't gonna lie. I was like in third grade though. I was like, give me a break. They are pretty jumpy, yeah. Hey Sailor, how you doing? How's your weekend going so far? It's about to be the weekend anyway. Okay, so we'll play the longer of the two videos. This is going to be from NBC News, and I'm probably going to pause it here and there for commentary because they'll probably try to get me if not. But this is going to be an interview with Kelley Goncalves' dad. He's been doing some interviews lately, He does think that Brian Kohberger's selfie in the bathroom, he believes that he took that picture as some sort of trophy for the crimes that he committed. He, it does the math and he says, yeah, that's about the time that it would have taken him, maybe to get home and everything. After he went back to the house that morning, he was supposedly, seen in the area the morning after the murders, or, same morning of the murders. So the morning or afternoon of the morning of the murders. At, I believe 9 something in the morning, 9:32. But he thinks he took the picture as like a trophy. So I could see that. Wasn't there? Oh man, we got to go back over the arrest affidavits, or not the arrest affidavits, the search warrants. I want to see what they took again. from like his parents' house and stuff.
Is Kaylee's father, Steve Goncalves. Steve, thank you so much for joining Top Story.
And one more thing. The judge rule, or not the judge, the defense put in a request that the family members aren't allowed to wear any shirts that say like Justice for Kelley, especially if they have like the Idaho House bill on them, that's the firing squad. But they can't have any like Justice for Kelley, Justice for Maddie. None of their pictures can be on their shirts. A lot of times judges will go ahead and grant that. Just so that there is order in the court, there's more order in the court, but he has it on now.
Story. And I also want to say, I'm so sorry that you have to join us and that we have to speak like this. I know you were doing this to speak for your daughter, but I am so sorry this is a situation you find yourself in at all. I want to start with just asking you about that selfie that everyone has now seen. What went through your head? What did it feel like when you saw that selfie of Brian Kohberger allegedly taken hours after your daughter and her housemates were murdered?
It was a trophy. He made himself a trophy. He felt like at that point he had just returned from the crime scene. There was no one there. And he believed, very confident, that's what the thumbs up. He's going to look back at that, remember what he got away with. And, it's a challenge to Idaho to let everybody know that, he thought he could kill people in our state, get away with it. He was far smarter than everyone else around him. And, he studied it, he's trying to be a PhD in it. So I think it was a challenge to Idaho. And I think Idaho will definitely step up. And he's going to regret that photo.
Steve, I want to also ask you about one of the requests the defense is making to the judge, asking that they do not allow spectators to wear T-shirts with pictures of the victims on them or anything like words in the memory of. How does that make you feel?
It's petty. I don't worry about it, though. My daughter's, justice and getting this conviction is much more important than wearing a shirt. I've never worn a shirt in court. They'll never be able to ever show that I ever did. So, when you got somebody facing, death row, you probably should focus more on, the case and the evidence rather than who's going to be in there witnessing it.
The defense has also claimed that they're going to present alternate perpetrators. Do you believe there is anyone else involved in the murder of your daughter and her housemates?
No, not at all. There's surveillance all around there. You're going to clearly see who was coming into the place and exactly when they were leaving and what that vehicle looked like when it took that corner. This case is solid. It's super solid. And, we look forward.
What does he mean? You'll see when that car takes that corner. I bet you'll see inside that car and you'll see only one person in there. I think that it's going to be like that solid. Like they're going to, yeah. Wow. I think that's what it's going to show. Mark my words.
Work to it. They're just trying to delay it, but it's time to pay the piper. We're all going to see what the state has, and I'm very confident in what they have.
How is your family holding up and handling all of this? I mean, last week we heard the 911 call partially released. We've seen this selfie now. What is it like for you and your family to keep having these items, these bits of information come out?
It is hard. It's very hard. You kind of just prepare your family, tell them to stay away from the TV, stay away from, parts of the internet. So, but it's nice to get this information out. It's good to see the facts. I mean, it's weird to wait 2.5 years to know like some of the final things that, your child has been through. We're still waiting on even like laptops and things that, so we can see, her playlist and things that she was working on. Aww. It's tough to go through this, but, I just think of all the officers and, the FBI agents and all the hard work that they put into this. So, I can wait and, we can get this out. We can figure it out.
After. As we move closer to seeing Brian Kohberger actually face a jury and answer to these charges, what for you and your family is the thing you hope people focus on the most when that coverage really gets in full swing? What is it you hope people don't forget about what y'all have experienced or about your daughter?
I think if people can concentrate on how much victims they were, how these people were just going through their everyday life, trying to be educated, try to be like the best type of human being that you could possibly be. And even having all the way from like their meals that they shared together till their Uber ride, they weren't drinking and driving, they weren't doing anything bad, and come home and to go to your bed and to have some stranger he's not even a part of our state, he's not even, he just didn't even belong here, and to have that person sneak into your home and kill you in your bed. If there wasn't ever a moment for people to rally together and say, it's time to take this to the full closure and have a message that's out there so we can kind of point to say, we put our foot down right here. And, when we have these school shooters and people that do these mass murders, maybe we have to start, putting our foot down and taking it to the darkest part, all the way till we finalize these people. And then maybe we can stop having these so often.
Have you been able to speak to any of the other families, Ethan's family, Zaina's or Maddie's?
Yeah, I've spoken to all the families, some more than others, but yeah, I mean, Karen she'll call us in the middle of the night, So
Aww.
We know if you're struggling, you're having a hard day, that you picked up that phone and you spend some time talking to somebody. Mm-hmm. And I love talking about Maddie all the time, so it's it's pretty easy for us to do.
That's really sweet, y'all. That's really sweet. Like, think about that. Like, he's not even talking about his own blood biological daughter. He's saying, Maddie, I love to talk about Maddie. So it's like, it's nothing for him to pick up the phone for Karen, for Maddie's mom at, early morning hours in the middle of the night and just talk to her. Like, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Are you and the other families confident right now that prosecutors have what they need to get a conviction here?
Yeah. They broke that down early on, and they basically outlined a couple different scenarios. And one of those was, hopefully this person comes out and says that he was framed. Was ideal, because that basically just means there's so much evidence that he just can't combat it. We didn't think we'd get as lucky as no alibi. We thought he'd think it out, and he is a smart guy. I figured he'd have some better way to explain what he was doing that night. I mean, I could think of a lot of better ways he could have done it. Really tricky stuff, but he didn't. And luckily, the case is going to be, it's going to be handled, and we'll get the eventual. We'll never get our kids back. I take that over any of this, but this is the best that we can make of the situation that we're in.
Steve Goncalves, thank you so much for joining us. And I promise you, we will remember Ethan, Kelley, Zaina, and Maddie as we move forward covering whatever happens next with this trial. We appreciate your time tonight.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back.
Wow. That's heartbreaking, Like, man, that was heartbreaking to hear. Okay. So do I have I have it. Karina sent me the Fox News one. I guess he went on Fox News as well. When did he go on here? March 21st, so today. And then he was on, let's see. He was on the NBC one 22 hours ago, so last night. So this is what he's got to say today. Let's hear what he's got to say. And thank you guys all for being here. I appreciate it so much. If you guys don't mind, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, hit all the things. And kiddos, I do love your name. I love that. My dad used to call me kiddo when I was a kid, and my uncle. My uncle would still, like, if I see him, he'll still call me that. Like, and I'm 39. It'll always be like a nickname,
Newly released photo shows Brian
this is kinda low.
Kohberger giving
Sorry.
a thumbs up just hours after 4 University of Idaho students were killed. As more evidence has been released ahead of his August 11th murder trial, our next guest lost his daughter, Kelley, in the horrific attack just over 2 years ago. And Kelley's father, Steve Goncalves, joins us now. Steve, thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
The image, very eerie. And then 40 documents were released that show evidence they were unsealed on Wednesday. Tell us what's going through your mind when you see that picture.
I see somebody that was making himself a trophy. I know the timeline. I know that he had just returned to the crime scene, and he had came back. He had realized that nobody had called 911. I think he knew that they were still asleep. And to him, that's his little trophy to let him know that, hey, I got away with it. Nobody's on me. And this is just the beginning of what this guy had in plan.
I know through a search warrant, they were able to search.
What song do you think he was listening to here and with the AirPods? I'm so curious to know what he was listening to, you know? Next morning, no one's waking at the house. There's no ambulance. There's no police there. There's none of that. I don't know if he thought he got away with it, but I'm just wondering what he was listening to. Maybe his own rap music.
Search his Amazon purchases. What did they find?
They found that this was a calculated event. He'd been working up to this, I believe, for years. The real interesting part that I found, and I was informed, was only after one of these witnesses seeing that he was about to buy another one. So their suspicions were he was involved. Then they see that he's about to get another one, and they were like, they put their foot down. They did the right thing.
You're talking about the knife in the sheath. The knife in the sheath.
Yeah,
they found that months before the murder, he bought a knife and a sheath that looked very similar, or maybe exactly. Correct me if I'm wrong. Was it the exact knife and sheath that was used?
That's how it's been described to me, exactly. Yeah, and then he clearly got rid of that evidence, and it was when he was going to buy another one that these people were like, okay, the suspicion has been confirmed.
Why do you think he was buying another one or wanted to?
I think he got rid of that one, and he was, he thought that was a perfect weapon, quiet. He was going to go into somebody else's house and, act two.
What else did they find in the 40 documents that were unsealed on Wednesday?
I haven't been able to see them all. It takes hours and hours to go through these. There's just a massive amount of work that's been done. But trying to think off the top of the head, there's quite a bit of information there. Mm-hmm. I encourage people to go look to the Idaho's page and their court docs and review them.
Okay. I can't imagine what this is like. You have to relive this every day when new information comes out. I want you to speak to that. And have you talked to any of the surviving roommates?
About a year ago, I talked to them. We have a Facebook page, and sometimes it feels like we may be talking to different people. But Karen, Maddie's mother, she'll call. Her and Christy will go out together. They do girl stuff, hair or whatever. But we have really kind of become a closer family, and you come together on these type of tragedies. But Karen's actually in Hawaii right now and celebrating one of the last trips that she did with two girls, with both Kelley and Maddie.
Mm-hmm. The trial is coming up. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm encouraged to see all this information. I hope some of the conspiracies and all that stuff that have plagued this case, with the gag order, there was a void of real information. So it just got filled with a bunch of nonsense. But things are getting better. And now that they have something real to talk about, the conversations are more productive. And I appreciate that. We have organizations like yours, and the truth's getting out. And that's what we really want, is the truth to be out, and stay away from all these conspiracy crimes and drugs and all this other nonsense.
All right, Steve, we are praying for your family. This is just tragic, and we'll be covering the trial from start to finish. God bless you. Thank you for coming on.
Have a good day. Thank you.
You too. More Fox and Friends coming up.
Right-handed, I think. Okay. Let me see. I had it. Took me a minute. I found this picture like forever ago. That'd be his right hand, right? I'm turning myself around. Yeah. But he does write like it's a lefty. Like, how like his left hand people, they were kind of like right inverted. like left-handed people do, like, because they have to, because the paper, probably the way that the paper is, but he does write like that. So there you go. There's the answer. There's the answer. So, look at that. I'm glad I could get that for you. Okay, now let's go over here. I don't know why it blows me up all the way. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. It just sets me back just a little bit, but you get to see the sparkles. Let me exit out of some of this stuff. Okay, so Megyn Kelly decided to team up with Howard Blum again. I don't know why she likes Howard Blum so much, but she does. She values his opinion, I guess. But they did a series of, she did one full big like podcast with him, but she put it down into smaller bits. So I figured we watched the smaller bits ones because that way we don't have to sit there and listen to all of the commercials that are in there. You know, she does like reads off all of the commercials. And I swear they're very long because this is 30 minutes and the other one's 53. So I'm pretty sure that's all commercials too. That's pretty bad. It's pretty bad, Megyn Kelly. Let me put this on. So the first one that they're going to go over is the 911 call. I figured we would just go through these like as well, because this is going to be kind of everything that came out over the last like week and a half. And it'll get us all caught up for, you know, when Monday comes, because you never know when the next document drop's going to be there. I mean, there was like 40, they said 40 pages or 40 documents. I think that there was more than that at the end of it. Like, I think that it was more like 44, 45. Like, there was so many that I just reading. But a lot of them were like sealing and redacting a lot of stuff. So that's why we didn't read a lot of them.
Something is happening. Something's happening in our house. We don't know what.
What is the address of the emergency?
1122.
What is the rest of the address?
Oh, Kings Road.
Okay. And is that a house or an apartment?
It's a house.
Can you repeat the address to make sure that I have it right?
I'll talk to you guys. We live at the light, so we're next to them.
I need someone to repeat the address for verification.
The address, 1122 King Road.
And what's the phone number that you're calling from?
What's your phone number?
And tell me exactly what's going on.
One of the roommates has passed out, and she was drunk last night and she's not waking up.
Okay.
Oh, and they saw some man in their house last night. Yeah. Hi,
and are you with the patient? Okay, I need someone to keep the phone, stop passing it around.
Can I just tell you what happened pretty much?
What is going on currently? Is someone passed out right now?
I don't really know, but pretty much at 4 a.m.
Okay, I need to know what's going on right now if someone is passed out. Can you find that out?
Yeah, I'll come. Come on, we gotta go check. But we have to. Is it Castell? She's not waking up.
Okay, one moment. I'm getting help started that way.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and how old is she?
She's 20.
20, you said?
Yes, 20 here.
Okay.
Hello? Hello?
Okay, I need someone to stop passing the phone around because I've talked to 4 different people.
Okay, sorry, they just gave me the phone.
Is she breathing?
Hello?
Is she breathing?
No.
Okay.
You should talk to them, okay? I can't talk to them. They need you to talk to them.
Hello. Okay. I have already sent the ambulance and law enforcement. Stay on the line. If there is a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it.
Say that again? There's a police here right now.
Okay. If there is a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it.
We don't have one. I think yes. Do you have a defibrillator? Yes, we have one.
Are you talking to the officer?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to let you go since he's there with you and can help you.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Okay.
Wow. Incredibly disturbing. Just so the audience understands that the murders happened at 4 a.m. That call did not get placed until almost noon the next morning, 11:55 a.m. And for all this time, they have not released the 911 call. It wasn't until this week we finally got to hear it. We believe, not totally confirmed, but we believe that the girl who made the call initially was Bethany Funk, one of the 2 roommates who survived. The other roommate is named Dylan Mortensen. She's the one who saw an intruder, which they were trying to tell the 911 operator, who wasn't in the mood to talk about what happened the night before. But those are the 2 surviving roommates. So we believe that's Bethany Funk, who could barely get sentences out. And Howard, the remarkable thing, of course, is that they're talking about their roommate having been drunk and she isn't waking up. And just the one roommate, they're not, I am assuming that they had found Xana Kernodle, who was on the 2nd floor with her boyfriend, Ethan, because they are not saying 4, they only had 3 of the female roommates, but they're not saying 4 of our friends are dead. They're saying one girl's passed out and she was drunk last night. We think she's dead.
Right. It seems that they did not even go up to the 3rd floor. What's so, horrific, you just listen to that hyperventilation. It's so poignant of what they went through. And the idea, first of all, that they did not make the call, as you pointed out, until about 8 hours after the crimes took place. And it's just been released that they were up that morning, one of the girls at 7:30, another at about 8:20, and they were making other calls and texts. And they still wait until 11:50 or so to call the police. And that's sort of hard to understand. And yet, these children, and they are children, were overwhelmed by this. And part of their reluctance, why they might not have called the police, and the fact that they were drunk, they didn't want to face the reality. We all hate to face impossible things, but you can see from the dispatcher how the kids, the students in this college town felt the adults react to them. We saw that on the police videos earlier when they come to the house on the noise disturbances calls, how the cops go out of their way to dump their beer on the sidewalk. There's a real antagonism between the students and the town, and that adds, I think, to their reluctance to have.
Really? He saw that? That's what he got from those videos? I got that those cops were freaking awesome. Like, beyond awesome. Like, cool as hell. They didn't bust up that whole party and tell them all to leave. They just told them to turn down the noise. Like, just turn it down. You know what I mean? Just don't be so noisy. Like, and if you're underage and all the cop does is take your beer and pour it out, I'm considering that a lucky day. I would consider that lucky as hell.
Reached out for help, but also
yeah. Well, I was just going to say, it's very eerie. So that she calls and says something is happening.
She cuts him off.
They say one of the roommates is passed out. And they're clearly referring to Xana Kernodle, because when she says, how old is she? She says she's 20. And both Kaylee and Maddie were 21. And when you're that age, you know exactly the number of years you are. You know what I mean? Like your age means a lot to you, especially when you're 20 versus 21. College roommates would absolutely have all the other ages in their heads of their roommates. So she's saying she's 20. So she clearly found Xana. But where was Ethan? Because our understanding was, if memory serves, I didn't go back and look this up, that he was found closer to the doorway of the bedroom, that he was in with Xana. They don't mention him.
I don't think she's found Xana yet. What I think, and the way I reconstruct it, is that the door was closed and they were knocking, because when they go up, I think it's Hunter Johnson, one of the friends, goes up and knocks on the door.
And he's on that phone call.
Right. And he's calling their names. He goes, Xana, Ethan. And then, to his credit, I mean, the young man's a hero. He says, get out, get out. He insists that they run away. He doesn't want them to confront what's in there. And I'm not sure they actually even get a glimpse into the room. He shoos them away. I don't think they ever really saw the bodies. They just couldn't get a response. And that's what was scaring them. They were afraid to go into the room. They knew what they would find. But they couldn't quite face this unthinkable reality. And so they kept outside. And Hunter was the one who went in, and he behaved, like a knight in shining armor in a difficult situation.
That makes more sense. Because they're not saying there's blood everywhere. You know, you and I have talked about how there was so much blood, it seeped through the walls of the house. They're not saying that. They're like, we're not sure. She was drunk last night. She maybe passed out. So clearly, but call 911. And so they clearly thought something was wrong. Maybe it was that she wasn't responding to texts and I don't know why they're not talking about Kelley and Maddie. Kelley, I think, wasn't even supposed to be there that night. She'd stayed over. She had moved out, but she was back visiting Maddie. But they're not mentioning Maddie. Nobody seems to be aware that there also might be an issue on the third floor. All of it is just so strange. And then we have to talk about the thing you just mentioned, which is the text messages that morning. But first, make your point. Go ahead.
They had intimations that something was wrong, because you can see after the night before, the morning before, at 4 a.m. approximately, when she confronts Kohberger, and then this is Dylan, and then she goes back into her room. The two surviving roommates are texting back and forth, and they'd say, "I'm freaked
just learned
out.
This.
Yes, I don't know what's happening." And finally, Bethany, who's in the first floor room, tells her, "Run, come down here." And it's almost like a prayer. She wants her to get there safely. And they stay there together until about 7:30 the next morning when they wake up. And again, they start texting and calling people, but they don't get to the police. They're afraid to get to the next level. They don't want to go into that room themselves, and they don't want to call the police. It's all too impossible to deal with. And it's a tragedy, I think, that the tape wasn't released earlier, because for the past 2.5 years, these two young women, the surviving roommates, have been slandered, libeled. Their characters have been impugned if they somehow were involved in some sort of cover-up. And you can just listen to this tape, and you can see that they were not involved in the events, but they are victims too.
Unbelievable. So you've got, now we know, this is all new. You've got the two surviving witnesses, because all along we knew that Dylan had seen the perpetrator, had seen an intruder that night wearing a COVID-type mask with bushy eyebrows, around 6 feet tall, in the house at 4 a.m., in the 4 a.m. hour. And that she saw him. It was unclear whether he saw her, but she froze. He left. She went back into her room, and we knew that they didn't call 911 until noon the next day. So 8 hours passed before she calls 911. And it's been one of the big mysteries in this case. Why didn't she call 911? She saw an intruder in the house in the middle of the night. And we know from the police affidavit, she said she was in a frozen shock phase, and that's why she didn't call. But that just seemed very strange that it would take you 8 hours, like you eventually would call. But then they were saying, well, it was a neighbor that came in and called. And you mentioned Hunter. Yes, he did come in and call, but we understand that was Bethany, and we think Dylan was also involved. So these two roommates, now we know, were texting, were scared, were in the one ran to the other one's room. They were in there hiding. And it appears that they may have gotten a hold of Hunter to come over to help check things out, but we still don't really understand the delay. why that didn't happen earlier than noon.
The delay is irrational. It makes no sense, but this was an irrational moment. They were going through an experience that was overwhelming them. They couldn't process it, and they didn't want to process it. They refused to confront the logic of what was happening. Just as when Dylan sees the assailant in the house, she can't speak out. That's what I believe saves her life. If she had spoken up, I think she would have been a victim too. But because she's too overwhelmed, she retreats into her silence and goes into her room. The intruder leaves the house and she survives. But this is really a story about people who are overwhelmed by events and don't want to face what is happening because it's too large. I write in my book, coincidentally, about how Kohberger's father, as he's going across country with his son, as they're leaving for Christmas break, he too is getting intimations that something is wrong, but he can't quite go all the way. He can't make this realization that his son is a monster. And in the same way, these two young women can't somehow cross this Rubicon of what has really happened in their house, what has really happened to their friends.
You don't go out and buy a life jacket when the boat is already sinking, and you don't buy gold when the economy has already collapsed.
We were trying to get us one of her little commercials at the end there. Not today, Megyn Kelly. Not today. Not today. So I understand them being scared and going to sleep. I understand that. I've done that myself. After the death of my father, like it's real easy. It's easier than you think. It's actually the best sleep you'll ever get. Like your body goes numb, your brain goes like just shuts it all down. Like, and you think in your head, if I go back to sleep, this isn't real. If I just go back to sleep, if I just go to sleep, this isn't happening. Like that's how it was with me. And that's how I could take up for Dylan for a lot of things. But she was up throughout the whole night texting and calling and getting on Yik Yak and all the things. And I don't know if she was just in shock and going through the motions of, just going through her phone and just, I don't know, just doing what she normally does. Like if she's, maybe she gets on those apps all the time. But I really wish we had an explanation for like the lack of calls to 911 and the texting and everything and all that. I wish we did have a little bit more of a clear answer of that. Now, I don't think the roommates had anything to do with this at all. Absolutely zero. I don't think that at all. I'm just curious, just from like a psychological standpoint. That's where I kind of see it. But where is she? Okay, I had it right here. So we'll go on to the next one. This one is the prosecutors released disturbing Brian Kohberger selfie taken hours after the murders. So the one we just talked about was the 911 call released. And we're just kind of going through, if you're just now joining us, we're going through a couple of Megyn Kelly's videos that her and Howard Blum put out just today, over like 5 hours ago. And we're just listening in and putting our theories in with it. And getting to see what they're saying. Because Howard Blum, he be saying some weird stuff. He be saying some crazy stuff sometimes. Okay. And I wish that he would get, like, someone send him a pair of AirPods. I got an extra pair. I'll send them to you. Howard Blum, he keeps like touching the mic or something, like you can hear it.
About Kohberger, because the stuff on him is just chilling. Incredibly, we have now seen a photo, that's been released of Brian Kohberger. They say this was taken from his own phone. All right. They've revealed now that the state intends to introduce a photograph of Brian Kohberger. It's a selfie that he took from his own phone the night of the murders, the morning after. Oh my God, look at it. The murders took place between 4 and 4:17 a.m. In the early morning hours of November 13th. This is from 11:30 a.m. This would have been 6 hours after he allegedly committed quadruple murder, which he denies. He looks bloodless. He looks like a vampire with no color whatsoever in his face. He looks gaunt, and he is giving the thumbs up sign. What in the hell is this, Howard?
What the defense is going to say, you look at him, he might look gaunt, he might look like a vampire, but you don't see any blood, and you don't see any blood in his bathtub behind him, and you don't see any blood on the shower curtain. They're going to say, if he is the murderer, where was the blood? And the prosecution at the same time introduced that photo to show his bushy eyebrows that Dylan Mortensen, when she made the identification of the intruder.
Let's put it back up there. I hadn't been looking at it for that purpose, but yes, it does show some bushy eyebrows. Keep going.
And that's what they're going to say. But also look at his knuckles. Do they seem sort of red? I don't know. I was trying to look at it closely, but other than it's looking like a really weird countenance, but there's no crime to be weird. You don't see any blood. You don't see any scratches on him. And again, that bathroom curtain in the background. When the police go to his apartment, when they have the search warrant after his arrest, there's no bathroom curtain there.
Okay, Howard Blum. Ann Taylor said that he is known to change his bathroom shower curtain. So how do we know that he didn't take the one down, the old one, put a new one up, so he has one? I mean, that makes sense. If it changes it a lot,
They make a point of that. So clearly, if this was his
It's got psycho vibes. It's definitely got psycho vibes from the movie Psycho. In the shower.
That's
right?
what I said.
You're right. Yeah.
The guy.
That's what I said.
I committed a murder with a knife. Like, he's wearing all white. It's buttoned up to the top. It almost feels like a murderer trolling us. And we know from the police affidavit, Howard, that this would have been taken about an hour after he went back to, if the cops' theory of the case is right, based on police data and cell phone data, he went back to the site of the murders around 9:30 in the morning and apparently checked on the scene. And we know now, of course, nothing was happening at the scene at that time. Inside, the girls may have been texting, but the police had not yet been alerted. And look at him. Then he appears to have gone back home, gone into his bathroom, and taken this bizarre selfie.
It's extremely disturbing and disquieting. At the same time, both the defense and the prosecution are going to be able to use that photograph for their own purposes. Again, the defense will make the case: no blood, no scratches, nothing to hide, no crime to be weird. And the prosecution is going to say, look at the bushy eyebrows, and they might even try to raise the question of the thumbs up. What's he giving a thumbs up for?
Mm-hmm. So that, I can't stop looking at it. It's just so deeply disturbing. But that's not the worst thing that's happened to Brian Kohberger over the past couple of years as the case against him has been developed. This may be. I mean, you and I've talked many times about what we think of the evidence, and I think we both think one of, if not, well, they're two most problematic things: the DNA on the knife sheath, which has been affirmatively linked to it is Brian Kohberger's, and also the fact that when they arrested him at his parents' home in the Poconos a few weeks later, he was stuffing his trash into little Ziploc baggies with the intention of disposing it, we believe, into the neighbor's trash, which is what he'd been doing, according to the cops, over the past few nights. So those are bad, bad, bad facts for him. But so is the latest data on the K-bar knife. They've never found the murder weapon. They found the knife sheath in the bed with the two girls, Kelley and Maddie, and it had touch DNA.
Okay, I'm just going to pause it for a minute. So basically, they went over the picture of Brian Kohberger, the selfie that he took 6 hours after the homicides. I'm sure they got that out of they extracted it out of his phone, I'm assuming. I want to see that selfie again. Hold on a second. I won't pull it up, but yeah, I mean, his other arm is out there. I was just wondering if he had it all set up like a tripod or something, And who takes a selfie in front of the toilet and shower? Like at the Steptoe Apartments, especially. Stick with me. I should show you the Steptoe Apartments and what they look like on the inside at the end of this.
On the knife snap, the snap of the sheath, which they then linked, thanks to genetic genealogy trees, back to the father of Brian Kohberger, which is then what got them to Brian Kohberger, who was only 10 miles away. And then once they got him in custody, they did an affirmative DNA test of his cheek swab, and that was 100% plus whatever the numbers are. They're astronomically in the favor of it being him and his DNA on that knife sheath snap. But now they are revealing that they may not have found the murder weapon, Howard, but they certainly found some incriminating things on Brian Kohberger's Amazon.
Yes. I mean, Brian Kohberger bought a knife just like the one that was used or left behind at the murder scene with the knife sheath with the Marine insignia, a K-bar knife, in March, before he even came out to Washington State University. That would suggest that when he drove across country that summer with his father, he had the knife and a sharpening tool he'd also bought, packed up in his belongings, taking out to Washington State for whatever reason. And he wasn't a hunter. There's no evidence that he ever went hunting. What also has been revealed is that after the murders, and the knife has now disappeared, his Amazon account, or the account that's shared by Kohberger and his family members, he was clicking on other knives as if to purchase them again. The defense is going to say that the Amazon algorithm just sends you there. If you bought a knife in the past, they'll send you there again. But buried in the prosecution's filings is they're saying that they're going to have a witness. They mentioned that just yesterday, who's going to testify to him having possession of a K-bar knife. Will this be a family member? I found that sort of interesting. Could a family member be going to the stand to testify against Brian?
Wow. I mean, they would feel an obligation, I think, to do it. I just feel like the whole country has, been interested in this case. These family members, the sister in particular, I think there are two sisters. I just feel like they'd have to do what's right if they knew it, but we'll find out. The thing about Amazon is just so fast.
I think they would want to do what's right. I mean, as far as we've heard, one of the sisters thought something was up. Like she thought Brian could have been the one that did this, that committed this crime. And at Christmas time, this is all alleged, but at Christmas time, I guess they were all taking turns going out to check out Brian's car to see what they could see.
Fascinating. So what we're saying is, they had not
One
been
of the
made public
sisters
until
I
now.
just found out, is writing a book, which is sort of interesting.
What?
Yes.
Oh my God. Oh, well, she's welcome to come on the Megyn Kelly show to promote it, because I'd love to ask her some questions.
She can publish until the gag order is lifted, but she's writing away, from what I hear. I've been told from reliable sources.
Well,
okay. Is she writing this book for her brother? Like a tell-all kind of deal? I know Brian can't make any money off of this, but is she going to make it like this is like Brian's a good guy? Or is she going to be like, shoot, I knew from the beginning. He stole my phone in 1995. It was really like 2000 and something, but you know what I mean? Like, my face, Karina, says it all. I want to read the book, but I want to know what the book's about. What are we doing here? You know what? No, you know what? You know what, honey? You write that book, sweetie. Your brother got you fired from your job. Whichever one you are. I hope you both are writing a book. I wonder if it's the sister, though, that has he doesn't have a sister that is one of those mind people, psychological people. Like she's a psychiatrist, psychologist, something like that. I can't remember. I think she is. I hope it's her. if I have to pick between her and the actress. You know what I mean? Whoever's got the better tea. That's what we want. We don't know what the title is, but I guess she's been writing away.
Well, so it's very interesting that he would have potentially gone back on Amazon searching for another K-bar knife and knife sheath. You could go many directions with that. Like he lost the knife sheath and didn't have the knife anymore because he disposed of it. It was the murder weapon. And therefore, in case the police ever came knocking, he wanted to have that knife that they would see in his Amazon history he purchased back in March before he got there, still sitting in his room without any traces of blood on it. See, I'm a good little boy. I still have my knife and it's not anybody's murder weapon. Or you could make the case he had more murders in store that he considered.
That's the chilling
doing it
hypothesis that the prosecution, I think, is going to try to make. And that's how they're going to justify any shortcuts that were taken in this case. We had to move quickly. Here we had a murderer they're going to claim, allege, who was ready to kill again.
What was do you remember the time frame off the top of your head where he started to search for a new Amazon, on Amazon for a new K-bar knife?
It's days after the murders, within 24 hours or so.
Oh my God, that's chilling.
Interesting too. You mentioned the IgG, the genetics genealogy. That was a key part of the case before. Well, the defense, Kohberger's defense, is now sort of would concede that was Brian Kohberger's DNA on the knife sheath. The real question now, and what's going to be the focus of this trial, is how did the knife sheath get there? The defense is going to claim that Brian Kohberger was never in the house. He didn't put it there. The real perpetrators put that knife sheath there, and somehow they had gotten Kohberger's DNA on it.
You don't go out and buy a life jacket when the boat is already sinking. And
don't you try to get us again with those ads. You know, she works really hard. I'm going to give her that. She does like 5 or 6 like episodes in one sitting, like, because she doesn't change her outfit. That's how I could tell. Unless she just puts on the same outfit for 5 days a week. But I think she does just do a bunch in one sitting. The last one I'm going to show you is a little shorter. It's only 6 minutes. But it's what we're learning between the surviving roommates. And these all just came out. This one came out 6 hours ago. And then at the end, I'll go back and I'll give you guys the full broadcast one, like the one that's the full 53 minutes. So if you guys want to watch like the whole 53 minutes, you can watch it. Because I don't think I put it in my description. I usually do. So thank you all for being here tonight. If you guys don't mind, hit that like button for your girl. Trying to hit that 11. Where am I talking? What am I talking about? Where am I going? I don't know, but that'd be great. I'm trying to get 100 likes tonight. That's my goal, for everyone to hit that like button. Because I have a charming personality, right?
I'm going to read for the audience what we have now on the text messages between the 2 surviving roommates, Dylan Mortensen and Bethany Funk, from 4:22 to 4:24 a.m. And we know that the murders happened between 4 a.m. and 4:17 a.m. So this is right after, clearly, it appears Dylan started texting Bethany right after she saw the intruder. So DM to BF. No one is answering. We're not sure what preceded this. This is what we have. DM to BF. I'm really confused right now. DM to Kelley Goncalves, who we now know is upstairs deceased. Kelley, DM to Goncalves again. What's going on? Then Bethany texts to DM. Yeah, dude, WTF. Then Bethany to Dylan. Xana was wearing all black. I don't understand why she would say that. Then Dylan to Bethany. I'm freaking out right now. Then Dylan to Bethany. No, it's like a ski mask almost, she says. Bethany to Dylan. STFU. Shut the F up. Bethany to DM. Actually, DM to BF. Like he had something over his forehead and little mouth. this is changing. I mean, really, this sounds like, she says ski mask. What she later told the cops was like a COVID mask. Here's Dylan back to Bethany. I'm not kidding. I'm so freaked out. Bethany to Dylan. So am I. Dylan to Bethany. My phone is going to die. Bethany to Dylan. Come to my room. Run down here. And then we understand that's what she did. So they go together into the same room. But then we have to talk about the texts the next morning, because what we see is that, okay, at 7:30 the next morning, Bethany called her father. At 7:30 in the morning, she called her father, Howard. I don't get how we get past 8 a.m. before a police officer or other adults showed up at that house.
They don't want to face it. When you talked about when they say Xana is in black, they're trying to find a rational explanation of this figure that they see in black in the house. They can say, well, maybe that wasn't a man you saw. Maybe that was Xana who you saw. And you shouldn't have to worry about it. Again, this is just too large. The moment is too large for these people to process. They're overwhelmed by it. And I don't think they'll ever
There's more.
It.
So Bethany called her father at 7:30 the next morning. She also made several other phone calls before the 911 call, and also took photos between 8:41 and 8:42. I have no idea what that means. Here, take that down because it's going to confuse people. Took photos between 8:41 and 8:42. At 8:05, Dylan, switching over from Bethany to Dylan now, began using Instagram. Between 8:05 and 11:57 a.m., Dylan's cell phone accessed Instagram, Snapchat, Yik Yak, and TikTok, according to a filing from the defense. Now, that could be Dylan trying to see whether Xana or anyone else has been on and posted to those apps. I mean, that could absolutely be one girl, because they were very prolific social media posters trying to see, like, is they not responding to her texts? I would
believe they were just looking for diversions. What would be most interesting, and I think the defense will want to get a hold of, is what did the one girl say to her father when she called at 7:30 in the morning? What was the substance of that conversation? Did they talk about the instance? And why didn't the father then call 911 if she had discussed the matter with him? Why did it was 7:30 in the morning? That to me is the more inexplicable question that still needs to be answered. And what also is interesting,
no sense.
All these questions that you're raising, this is just what the defense is going to do. Because there's no logical explanation for them, and they're going to try to raise as much doubt as possible with the jury. And that's what this trial is all going to be about, trying to find reasons to raise doubt from things that seem on one level odd, but a way events really unfolded in real life.
Well, one of them, I'm not sure which of the roommates, but one of them called their father at 11:39 a.m. So again, either again, if it was the one gal who'd already called her father, or for the first time. And so that was 11:39. And then it was 11:55 that they called the 911 operator. So it seems like perhaps, okay, so it was Bethany who called her father at 7:30. And again, we believe it was Bethany who called 911 eventually. And then at 11:39, there was another call to a father. By 11:55, they were calling 911. So perhaps in that last call to the father, he was like, call 911. And we know that
actually, I think he said, call your
a.m.
friends. Get your friends down here. That's what, when the father, that's what brought the kids from the fraternity down there to look. And that's when they had more people there, they felt protected in a way. And then they called the police.
You don't go out and buy a life jacket when the boat is already.
Not getting us, Megan. Okay, let me get you that link before I forget. And thank you guys. I appreciate your kind words. I do. I appreciate your kind words. I was a little sleepy tonight, so I'm glad that you guys stuck it with me. I mean, I feel fine now. I just was a little sleepy when I first came on. I think it was like the pressure of the day was like I was like, I'm able to breathe now, just because I know my dog's not going to go anywhere. And yeah, she's trying to hide, I think. She's trying to like get under the blue chair. I think she knows something's up. She's like, oh my gosh. So I wanted to show this to you guys because I don't think a lot of you have probably seen this. This is we went over this 2 years ago, I think it's been, but this is the WSU Apartments, Steptoe Village, where Brian Kohberger rests his head at night. And they have a Zillow like listing or whatever, like kind of like a Zillow listing. It's not really, but it's them filming inside one of the apartments. So I'm going to show it to you guys because that way you guys will know what Brian Kohberger's apartment probably looked like on the inside, This is back from 2015. I don't think they've updated their apartment since then because they don't look like they probably have. I mean, they're older apartments. So normally it takes them a while to get their button check. I live in an older apartment. You wouldn't know because we've redone the whole thing, floors and everything. But if you go into someone else's apartment, you may. Okay, so it's only actually I'm going to turn the volume down because I don't want them getting me with the background music. And then we'll play it. It's only like 50 seconds. So this is the Steptoe 2-bedroom. You get this beautiful yard out here, and your children can play in this sandbox that probably has lice in it from every kid in the neighborhood. Or if you're a college student, why would you want a playground equipment in your, okay, this is supposed to be for college kids, but you got the beautiful hanging light from the 70s. I mean, the 70s charm is coming back. Then we got the kitchen, which what would go right here, y'all? What is this made for? These apartments are old, so what would go in this spot? Like you got your refrigerator, you got your stove. You could put a microwave cart and a microwave there, but I'm just wondering what this space was properly used for. Like what were you supposed to use it for? Like back in the day, they'll have like appliances and stuff in the houses, or they'll have like different little things and that means something. Oh yeah, deep freezer. Dahmer had one. Yeah, I could put a deep freeze right there. Oh, here's the bathroom. There's the white tile tub. I wish they would turn towards the tub in this. They don't, which is unfortunate for us. But did you see how small that bathroom was? So that means the toilet is beside the tub. So that means he was pretty much standing on top of the toilet. Cause look, there's this bathroom ain't big when they exit out of it. Well, can't really tell, but it's not that big. Why didn't you take it in front of these beautiful double doors out here? Or those double doors? I think they're the same. I think that's all of it pretty much. Yeah. I'll be sure to go to the housing.wsu.edu to go there to purchase a apartment. He probably was standing on the toilet. Extra fridge for beer. That could work. You can get one of those, what are those things called? Son of a bitch. Hell. My friend used to have one. A couple of my friends did. Where there's like a beer tap in your house. And you get a keg. I can't even think. I haven't drank it's been too long apparently. Oh, there we go. Kiwi mate. Better than DoorDash. Those people didn't get their damn food for 3 hours. Keg cooler. That could work. Like it was like a keg, but it was like there was another name for it. Like bougie people had it. Like it would be like spouts, like like if you were in a bar, like different ones, you could put different beers in it. Like but like kegs that you would put kegs in it. But yeah, I can't remember the name of it. Kegerator. There you go. Remember those parties? Yeah, and that's what it is. That's what I think it is. Kegerator. Yeah. But do you remember going to parties with kegs? Oh my Lord, have mercy. I remember going to parties with kegs. I remember going to parties with my brother being there. And he's 9 years older than me. Don't talk about that because he was a late bloomer. I just started drinking early, and he didn't drink late, like later in life. But he would be at these kegs, and they would be like checking bracelets, right? You know, like you'd have to buy like a bracelet so you could just like drink whatever you want. I don't know how they kept track of that now that I'm like older. Well, they did. They came around and checked her bracelet actually. But my brother would check my bracelets, make sure. He's like, "Do you have a bracelet?" Like, Tony, go home. You don't even drink. You don't even drink. Go home. Hey, Joseph. You met your husband at a cake party at your house? Oh, Vincent has one sip of a drink. Oh, it's the best. And his whole face turns like a tomato. Like, it's so red. It's so funny. We went and we got our nails done. That's what's so funny for he got his nails done. He got his toes done. I was like, just get your toes or something done. I was like, come in with me. I made him come in. I was like, come in with me. Just come on. So I got my nails done. He got his toes done, which he didn't need his toes done. They're his like baby feet. And I go to walk up to him after I'm done, and I'm stopped in my tracks. And I'm like, you've been drinking. He's like, how do you know? And I'm like, dude, your face is bright red. He had 2 sips of some wine, 2 sips. And he's like, will you drink the rest of this? Like, he was afraid to drink. He didn't want to drink anymore, but he didn't want to be like rude, to the people. And I'm like, yeah, give it to me. But yeah, he gets really red. I think it's pretty funny. White Russians. My friend used to love a White Russian. A keg stand. I did that on my prom night. It took a lot of people to hold that 12-layer dress up, like up the opposite direction. I could make sure I wasn't, I was covered. But yeah, man, we used to drink Boone's Farm. That was my days, Boone's Farm. Very gross. Mad Dog. Never drank that, but I had a friend that did. I thought you were going to say you never have, Ashley. And I was going to say that's a lie. Because I saw the never heard. Like I saw the never in Mary Beth's comment below yours. And I was like, wait, what? Zima. Oh, remember Zima back in the day, Zima, though. Zima came back. Zima used to be an 80s drink. Like it, Goldschlager. Oh. True Crime Lullabies, you'd have been my girl. Yeah. We would have been drinking, yeah. Puking in the countryside together. Country roads. Now I can't even think about alcohol without going like, ugh. Jägermeister, don't even, oh, no, none of it. None of it. I can't do any of it anymore. Man, but we used to drink I'm from a small town, so we had nothing better to do, We really didn't. We had like nothing, we had nothing to do. Like it's a shame. Like we had a movie theater, but it kept closing down. It would open. And who wants to go to the movies after a certain age, Like, so we just drank drinks. We just drank drinks. That's what we did. Crown Royal, I think it's like the peach flavor or something like that. When it hits in my hometown, like they sell out within like minutes, I've heard. I need to get my hands on some of that. Just like hoard it. Okay. Sue Ann's having a couple drinks tonight. When we're talking about drinks. The peach, yeah. It's crazy. I don't know if it's popular other places too, but I used to like Bud Light. It didn't matter if it was in a can or a bottle. I don't think I really cared as long as it was cold. And Jim Beam straight, not chilled, don't touch it. I don't even really care if they touch the bottle. I literally just wanted it to pour into my cup without them even touching it. Just, I don't want I don't want it to be cold. I don't want it to be too warm. No, and I can't believe I drank that like straight. Your girl could put back the alcohol back in the day when I was younger. Oh, Blue Moon. That has the orange. I used to be a bartender many moons ago. See, Ladybug has got my back. She's like Jim Beam. It's something spicy. Oh my gosh, I could feel it. Like, when you could taste it. And I'm gonna say my friend got me hooked on that. Victoria. She's the one that liked Jim Beam. And the reason why I started drinking it straight was because she always had Coke at her house, and I liked Pepsi products. So I hated Coke, even if it was a chaser. So I would just chase it with my beer. Like, I was so weird. Don't do that. But I would just chase it with my beer, and that's how I started drinking it. Jose Cuervo and OJ. That'd probably be pretty good. Anything with orange juice is pretty good because orange juice is like strong, I feel like. I love me some good orange juice though. My friends like to drink vodka and water when we were younger. They said that it was hydrating them while dehydrating themselves. They were always fine the next morning, no hangover. So, oh, Ashley, tequila, I don't do that. That makes me evil. Makes me so mean. It makes me mean. It puts me into this like mood that I'm like tough, and like I'm like the toughest person in the bar, and I want people to know it. Like I want people to know it. I haven't drank tequila in probably 8 years, 7 years. But man, I'm the toughest person in the world. I remember last time everybody that walked by me, I was like, what are you looking at? What are you looking at? Vincent was on the phone. He's like telling me, he's like, I was trying to get your attention. Like, who are you talking to? But he's like, every few seconds, you would just be like, what are you talking, or who are you looking at? Like, who are you looking at? And I was like, oh my God, I was trying to start a fight. I felt it the next day. I did. I felt it for like 3 days. Like literally, because I didn't drink at the time ever. I was like a flop for me to go out and have a couple of drinks with a girlfriend. You know, I mean, it was just meant in the cards to be. And I couldn't handle my alcohol, I guess. Vincent had to rescue me. You know, he's my boo for that. Patrick, that's the way to do it. I don't even think I could drink. I don't really drink at all, but I'd have a beer with like my brother or something, you know, like I went out to eat, or like Vincent, if he wanted to have like a glass of wine or drink or something, I'd have one with him. But I don't really like, you know, I don't crave it or anything, which is good because both of my parents were alcoholics, like functioning very much so, but alcoholics nonetheless. So, you know, it's good for me that I don't drink. So. It makes me proud of myself. Oh, Bacardi 151. Ugh. Only the bottles remain. Yeah. Yeah. Tap beer will get you because you drink it fast because it'll get warm quick because you're outside at a game. And I don't like warm beer. So I'm always like chug mine. And then I think that we went to a game a couple times with a couple of friends and we had drinks. And I would make Vincent drink that. Hypnotic. Oh, I forgot about that. Man, we have some. I'm about to go to the store tomorrow and be looking at all the old drinks. It's for the birds. It is. Actually, speaking of which, I have a bird out here and she's doing really well. And did you know? Maybe Ladybug knew this. Okay. Ladybug, tell me if this is true, because I don't know. I know what I saw, but I don't know what I saw. So I have 2 pigeons. I guess they're, the boy and the girl. And the girl's up there laying eggs right now on top of my blinds that are on my outdoor blinds. Thank you, lady. Was going to use them, but it's fine. It's fine because it's for the birds. It's for the birds. So she's on there like laying her eggs or whatever. I saw the boy bird. He was up on our balcony last night. And I swear to you guys, I've never seen a girl get off the eggs before or off the nest. Normally she's just always on the nest, but they switched spots. So the male got on top of the nest and was sitting there like the female does. And then the female took off. So was it for her so she could go get herself some food because he was too lazy to bring her home dinner? Or do you guys know? Because I don't know. I just know that they switched spots. So the woman bird could go I think they're pigeons. I think that's what they are. Could they be doves? No, they're not doves. They're not white. Or not all doves white. I think they're pigeons. Let me look up a pigeon now. Yeah, it's a pigeon. It's like this one. It's like these 2. Like this. That's what they look like. I'm not in the city. Oh, shit. I've never seen them really around here either. So they both do it. Both birds usually do incubate. And incubates like when you're cooking the eggs. I'm learning. Okay. Oh my gosh. We are all turning into our grandparents, looking at the birds and stuff. You know what I mean? Knowing the different species of the birds. My grandparents loved birds. Pigeons are doves? Okay. And so is it true that when one pigeon finds the other pigeon that they're pigeons for life? Like they're in love for life? Because they're lovebirds, right? Oh, we got lovebirds. Yeah, I thought that was so cool that male was helping. I was like, am I seeing shit? I really was like, am I seeing stuff? Oh, you have bald eagles in your area, Phantom? A ladybug's been watching some bald eagles, or some eagles anyway. I don't know if they're bald eagles. You're welcome, CJK. We're old. They're just like this little guy, here. Most of them are life partners. I told Vincent that. I said, like me and you. Man. Okay, I'm going to jump off, I'm going to go look at him. I'm going to go look at my bird. I told Vincent, I was like, if our little camera worked out here, I would do a little stream, a stream just so you guys could watch her. I should do a picture every day. That's what I should do. I need to start doing that starting tomorrow. I'm going to do a picture every morning. I'm going to try to remember. I should be able to remember every morning. I mean, I see the bird, but I, wake up, I walk out there, open the blinds, and then I'm like, hello. We're thinking of names. I'm thinking Sonny and Cher. Because, I've been saying, I sing a lot of Cher. She gets in my head. Thank you, Mary Beth, for gifting out a membership. I don't know who got it. Oh, Lisa Rose got it. Look at that. Well, I'll be back on here tomorrow. It'll probably be a night stream. We may do a day stream and a night stream. We may do both. So you never know with me. But I will be back on about 9:15 tomorrow night, if not during the day. And we'll talk about some sort of case. I don't know. There was a case, and actually Nancy Grace is covering it. But have you heard of the case of Emily Pike, the 14-year-old girl? She was found dismembered off of US 60. And she was just ID'd as the missing girl, Emily Pike, 14. So I was going to look into that case because I thought that might be an interesting one. So, but yeah, but thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. I know it looks like it. Oh, thank you, In the Pines. You're so nice. Thank you. Well, I will see you guys all tomorrow, either in the morning, or in the evening, but one or the other. You know me, I'm always here. I'm always here. So I'll be back tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I do appreciate it. If you don't mind, hit the like button on the way out. It really does help the channel grow. It gets the video out in the algorithm, and your girl needs the algorithm to love her videos right now. So thanks so much. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Just like the street lights lit